Hello, it's Steve with CarSmart in Niagara Falls, and we have a 2022 Jeep Compass for you today. It's a beautiful color. This is called black or diamond black crystal pearl. So this is a pearlescent paint. And in the painting world, you know, the different metallics, and it's difficult to see because it's a very overcast day today, but it's a black metallic. When they use a pearl metallic, they use typically mica, little wee ground up mica fragments, and the way it catches the light and refracts the light, it sort of changes color based on the color. Painters tend to call it lots of flop, and we've given this a good 3-stage polish, and it is gorgeous. Came out real nice. There's the odd little wee stone chip, but again, for 2022, this is in great shape. This only has 55,809 kilometers on it. It's the Jeep Compass Sport. So it comes with all the blacked out trim, so door handles, mirror trim, all your window surrounds. Same thing when you go around to the headlight surrounds, grille, very little chrome on it. Whatever is sort of bright, it's again, it's sort of a satin finish. It's not a bright sort of glossy chrome. 16-inch blacked out, they call them a low gloss black wheel. Again, it's got nice tires on it, Continentals. Again, these are again an all-season steel belted radial, Continental cross contacts, LED lights. Again, these are standard from the factory, both your low beam and high beam, and then you do have like an LED strip, often called a signature lighting strip. But those come on in the daytime when the lights are off. Now I have the lights on right now for demonstration purposes, and you can see again the whole lower grille of that front bumper is all blacked out. It's got a nice sort of nice medium tint on it, so that's a little deeper than the factory tint. It's got sort of a privacy tint on it, but not super dark. Fuel door, of course, is here. It's automatically locked when you lock the doors. So when the doors are unlocked, it opens up. It's what they call a capless fuel system. So you just have to stick the neck of the fuel door in there to activate it. You'll notice the cladding that sort of goes up over the wheel arches, down into protecting the lower rockers of the vehicle, and extending into the bottom of the doors there for sort of protection from stone chips and road rash and all the grime that tends to get kicked up from the roadway. Move around, again we see a very subtle sort of lip spoiler in the back with a LED third brake lamp, of course rear wiper washer. We'll get into the trunk in a moment, but the release is just on the underside. Of course your backup camera lives there. Nice looking vehicle. Keyless remote entry, we have both keys for it. Nice sort of black and gray interior, sort of a nice premium cloth with sort of the orange sort of French stitching. It's got a premium audio package, as they call it, with 6 speakers. For more of a base equipment overall, it's got a real nice sound system. You've got 9 airbags throughout, so side impact airbags, curtain airbags that extend over front and rear windows, dual frontal airbags, like one within the steering wheel, the other up on the upper dashboard of the passenger side, and these are what they call multi-stage airbags, where they'll go off at different levels based on the amount of impact energy. And to top it all off, this has an additional driver's knee airbag that helps protect your knees and protects the driver from sort of submarining down underneath the steering wheel, which can cause more physical harm in an accident. You can see nice big pockets, storage for sort of tall cans or bottles. Your power windows with sort of express or auto down, one-touch windows for both the front windows. You've got your power mirrors that are heated. You can see the little heated, you can see it through the glass there. Come around here, go in the bottom corner, that's your little symbol there that again we have heated side view mirrors, and those are what they call a breakaway mirror. If somebody bumps that in a parking lot in either direction, they just sort of swivel, doesn't do any damage to the housing, so makes it very safe. Less likely to get damaged, I should say. Now, if I move down here, you'll see, of course, right at the very base there is the release for the hood. You've got your headlights. Most people will leave this in the auto position. Again, I just have it in the manual headlight position to show it on, but of course with auto on-off headlights, your daytime lights will come on during the daytime, and as soon as it gets dark, headlights will automatically turn on. This is your dimmer switch for all your interior sort of ambient lighting. So that's your backlighting, your switches all through the steering wheel, and of course your dash lights and other displays. So, as mentioned, we've got 55,809 kilometers. Nice clean instrumentation, not overly digitized. You have that little small digital information center in the middle, and of course then you've got the bigger sort of screen coming over to the right for all your, the monitor and backup camera and all your multimedia. Then, I say, with your tachometer there, that's just our low beam indicator. Auto stop start is off. It has a selector switch up here where you can turn off that auto stop start system. And that's a fuel saving device, but a lot of people find it annoying when it shuts down every time you hit a stoplight. So you can elect to turn it off. This is your, of course, seatbelt warning light system. Then there's a multifunction screen here where we can get into things like, right now I have my my iPhone hooked up. This has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, all wireless, so you can stream your media, etc. My phone is just sitting down there. We'll get into that central screen in a moment. But we do have a tilt and telescopic wheel, a nice sort of three-spoke sort of design. On the left spoke here, you'll see those multifunction controls as well as phone controls. And then your cruise control over on the other side. Your horn, of course, lives in that central bumper where your airbag lives, and of course then you've got your front and rear wiper washers. Now it does have rain sensing, so in behind here, sort of poking out towards the glass, is an ultraviolet sensor that reads rain or any other precipitation hitting it, and it'll sort of speed up and slow down your wipers pulses based on the speed that you're traveling and of course the amount of precipitation that might be hitting it. When we drop this into reverse, of course we get a nice big high definition backup camera. This is a nice big screen, 8.5 inches. Again, it's a touch screen, and you can see it's what they call an active park assist camera as well, because it has those lines that will sort of rotate based on, as I turn the steering wheel, where you're going to go. So if you're trying to negotiate into a specific spot, it makes it much easier for those that have sometimes difficulty with parking. And then you've got a multifunction screen here. Right now we're on the the climate control screen. For example, we can go up here, and this is where we would access our heated seats. It has like a dual stage heated front seats. We can control temperature blend from the screen, or we can do it from the controls down below. So in many of these functions, there's dual ways to access it. If we go into the home screen, you'll see that pop up here in a moment. There we go. So your radio functions, obviously CarPlay, assist, audio, backup camera. This is where you can go in and sort of do all your settings accordingly. So let's go back to CarPlay for the moment. Oh, there we go. So right now, as I said, I have my phone plugged in. Let's go back to the home screen to start off. So that's kind of your CarPlay home screen. So this is basically what it's doing, is it's mirroring all the apps on your phone. So with your phone, your music apps, your text messaging. So for example, say you have a text message coming in, and you can just hit the answer button, and it will digitize that message and sort of speak it back to you. And then you can reply through the voice control on the steering wheel here, and reply all by voice. So just like your hands-free phone, you can have hands-free digitized texting. Through here, you've got your various music apps. I often like this one here. You can see a nice big clear, brings in album cover art and everything else. If we go into our again our map screens, here's Google Maps as an example. We can go into here and change the various views. You can go into the background. For example, with Google, you can get overlay of satellite images, so you'll actually see real buildings and relief of creeks and rivers, etc., etc. So lots of different options there, and of course that way you're using your favorite navigation app direct from your smartphone. And the nice thing with these, vis-a-vis what you'd get with a factory embedded navigation system, is it's always up to date. And that's one of the problems with navigation systems from the factory, is they're great when the car is brand new, but once you're 3-4 years old, new highways are changing, new neighborhoods pop up, street names change, etc. So unless you go back to the dealer and fork over several $100s for them to update it, you're always sort of behind the 8 ball on updates. Whereas your factory navigation, if you use Google Maps or Waze or whatever one you like, they're always up to date. Every time you update your smartphone, maps are updated along with it, so no extra cost. Other features, and of course we go into our vehicle functions and setup. Okay, profile, display, your clock and date, etc. Pairing your phones, etc. And then again, that's back to the main app screen. So moving below, you'll see individual sort of flow controls for all the individual vents. So whether the corner vents or the main vents on the side. We also have side window demisters and of course front defrosting. And of course all your modes can be controlled from here. So again, you don't have to go to the screen to control these things. Your fan speed, temperature, blend, etc. all done through here as well. Additional ports for both input as well as charging devices. You've got two different styles. This is the newer USB-C style versus a USB-A port. You've got a nice deep sort of storage pocket here down where my phone is currently hanging out. Moving back from that, 6-speed overdrive automatic transmission. Of course, just dropping it into drive is where most people will leave it, but you also have what they call a Tiptronic or manual shifting range. If I flip this into the manual mode, one thing you'll see right up top there is look, it's showing number 1, and then as I kind of go through the pulling back on that, you can see the gears changing. So this allows you to sort of manually shift through all 6 speeds, all without a clutch. So it's an automatic with a manual override. It just gives you more control, a little more fun if you're in the twisty roads or the hills and whatnot. It just gives you that little extra ability to control the RPMs. This is your parking brake, which you pull to set or push down to release. Pretty straightforward. You've got cup holders, nice big central armrest with lots of deep storage in it, and this slides. So under that leather cover, you've got that sliding ability, so somebody that's sitting further forward can adjust that armrest to their preference. And as you'll see here, all the original books and sort of carry case, owner's manuals, radio manual, quick start guide, sort of, and then of course that's the wheel lock key there. So it has anti-theft wheel locks on it. Likely from the original, often the dealers will put these on to reduce theft on their lot. So it just secures your wheels, and very, very difficult to get them off without the key. 2 keys are there. Sirius XM guide. Now one thing I'll mention with Sirius XM, this has this embedded within the factory system. Now that's a pay service, but we can set you up with a 90-day free trial. We have some brochures from Sirius XM, so you can sort of do a 90-day test drive if you wish to see if you'd like to keep it. Up top, of course, your day-night rear-view mirror. The SOS is sort of an emergency assistance button. Overhead, we have sort of individual sort of spotlights. Embedded within here is a little speaker, so this is what's picking up your voice when you're doing voice operations. A handy little clip underneath here. That's for, just storing things. Same on both sides, receipts or other notes. And you've got sort of dual visor mirrors, overhead handles for front and back. Rear ones have a little flip out hooks to hang your coat or dry cleaning, hangers, that sort of thing. Then you've got height adjustable seat belts. And these also incorporate what they call seatbelt pretensioning. So in the event of a serious accident, specifically a frontal accident where your momentum is really pulling you forward, or a side impact, these pretensioners will deploy based on the type of energy that's involved in that accident, tighten up and basically cinch out any slack in the seatbelts, and this really allows them to do a better job. And your headrests themselves not only are height adjustable, but they are what they call anti-whiplash or active head restraints. And then in addition, we've got those side impact airbags within the seat themselves, and those overhead curtain airbags that drop down and really protect your upper torso and head. And those curtain airbags will stay inflated for quite some time, like upwards of about 12 seconds. So if you're in a real nasty accident where maybe you're going off-road into a ditch and then the car is rolling over, it'll stay inflated, and that really protects your head from bashing against pillars and whatnot. And this technology can be a real lifesaver. Just pointing out here, a child-proof door lock. So if you have little ones in the back, you can deactivate the door lock switches just by twisting that button. Windows likewise can be deactivated from the driver's side front. We have 2 seat back pockets. We've got vents in here, as you can see. Additional USB charge point, a USB-A, this one. Vent flow controls. A standard sort of 12-volt power socket down there. And again, a nice tasteful interior, sort of a deep charcoal gray with sort of the nice orange stitching. Flip-up armrest with cup holders. Again, the doors themselves, like the front doors, also have their little storage pockets and tall holders. Flipping down the seat really accommodates quite a large cargo area. So you've got what they call a 60-40 split folding rear seat. And the other thing you can do is adjust and raise the height of your floor. So for example, for a nice flat load through to the with the seats folded, you can lift the floor up onto a higher level. Gives you sort of a dual stage, sort of or not a dual stage, but I should say an extra storage area. Now, like a lot of new vehicles now, you have a tire service kit. Okay, so again, you don't have a conventional spare tire. It opens up a lot more space and reduces weight, and then there's a tire inflation kit to fix a flat should that happen while out on the road. Another 12-volt power plug back in the cargo area, and of course cargo lamps. They have those on both sides. And but this is handy because you can get little travel coolers that plug in. So if you're on the road and you've got all your weekend food supplies, you can keep everything chilled and cool while you're driving. You'll see these little hooks here in the corners. These are there to really tie down and secure any loose loads as well. Handy little grab handle to pull that down. And let's finish up under hood here. We have a 4-cylinder, very economical, non-turbo, and that's in my mind a good thing. Turbochargers, you see in a lot of the higher end vehicles now on 4 cylinders are putting turbos in to give them more power, but you're also adding a lot of complexity. You're adding pressure to really get more power out of a smaller engine, and eventually that's going to bite you. You know, turbochargers aren't going to last as long without maintenance, and you know, they're harder on the engine oil, they're running much hotter. So this is a normally aspirated sort of non-turbo engine, double overhead cam, 16 valves. It's a regular multi-port fuel injection, so some might call it older technology, but you know, that adds to reliability. And likewise, they're using an AISIN transmission, AISIN, and this is a Japanese company that builds transmissions worldwide. They're an auto parts company, but very good quality stuff, and I think it's smart for Jeep to go out to an outsider for that. And again, obviously more reliability is always a good thing. So that pretty much wraps it up, folks. 2022 Jeep Compass, clean Carfax, nice straight car, or SUV, I guess it is, small SUV. We're CarSmart here in Niagara Falls. My name is Steve, and if you have any questions, please give me a call. You can reach us at 905-354-0049. Thanks for watching.